You may remember me from my television shows in the 1980s and 90s, and now I host two regularly live streamed virtual magic shows. One is a showcase for some of the greatest magicians in the world, and the other is a talk show featuring some of the most inspiring conjurers of our times. Welcome now to Magical People. And welcome everybody to another Magical People episode, Magical People Live, I may add. And I'm very excited about this week's guest. So I'd like us all in our virtual as well as Facebook audience to put our hands together for the indeed magical Ms. Charley. Let's hear it for her. There you go. And
Thank you.
how are you doing this day?
Oh, I am wonderful. We have gotten cooler weather here in San Diego. Still a little dry, but it's cooler than it has been. Cold. It's that fall weather. Cold at night, hot during the day, and it's you just got to find a balance and layer up and everything. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, I before we dig into everything, I just have to say, when you reached out to ask me to be on the show, and I read the message, this overwhelming feeling of that moment back on the old Carson show when Johnny would wave the person on over to the couch, and so it's I've reached the couch, and so that's what this moment is all about. It is so absolutely wonderful to be here with you. So thank you
Oh,
for
it's a
having me.
pleasure. It's a pleasure and an honor. These are fake glasses, but I did put them on in the before chat. This is my attempt at a Michael Caine kind of look, but I think actually, for all intents and purposes, it will be a Magic Mike look this day.
I
These are a
like it. I
few.
think the glasses suit you.
Maybe I should wear them next show and scare folks. So I'm
Okay.
so excited. And to be honest, the very first time I saw you perform, I believe it was on Facebook. It was probably a clip from a live show. And I thought, who is this person? Or more my people would go, who is this person? And I thought, wow, I've got to see more clips. Who is that person? And sure enough, the more I dug a little bit deeper, the more I looked at your videos, I thought, I've got to ask you, not get you on my show, because I don't know if you'd agree to it, on the Friday night Wizard Emporium. Look it up on Facebook, the Friday Night Wizard Emporium, and of which you've been a guest a couple of times, a few times already,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
grateful for that as well.
fine, fine.
And you did not disappoint. I didn't expect that you would disappoint, but I almost said I really dig your style. I really back to the 60s and 70s, Mike. I really like your style. It reminds me a little bit of my style in the when did I perform in the mid 80s and mid 90s? And that's a compliment. I'm not, it's kind of like you have this cool energy. You have it seems like a natural ability to entertain. And wow, your sleight of hand is pretty much impeccable. I hope I don't embarrass you by saying that. I mean, we're all human. We all have flaws. Some of us have flies, but most of us do tend to have flaws. And you're, how do I put this? A regular person, and even some magicians wouldn't know. You cover so well, and
Oh,
you entertain. It's very true. Now I'm going to embarrass you by reading my cheat sheet and some of your credentials. Some of your credentials. She's received multiple awards from ACT San Diego and the IBM, or International Brotherhood of Magicians. There's the logo.
yeah.
You are known as Magical Ms. Charley, award-winning magician, actress, and director based in San Diego since the early 90s. I'd like to elaborate a little bit on that. You're a graduate, but you knew that, a graduate of the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, trained with top artists like Kay Ballard. How many of us remember Kay Ballard from television and Gavin MacLeod? one of my favorites from The Love Boat. You developed a love for magic at age 6, began performing magic during lockdown or during the quarantine, and you have praise from such luminaries as Joan Decor, Jay Sankey, another one of my favorites, Joe Mystic, myself, Howard Hamburg, and Magic Mike Stillwell. Where did he get his name from? I have to contact him. Anyway, anywho, that's a lot of stuff, but I know there's a lot more credits. There's a lot more to you, and we're going to unravel just a little bit of that on today's show. I wish we had more. I wish we had like hours to do a show like this, but we don't. And simply because I need a nap after about a half an hour. In any case, um, let's chat about your love for magic. It apparently started at 6, but you started to really perform during lockdown. Let's elaborate.
Yeah, as a child, you see something on television, or I went into a couple magic shops with my dad, and you get enamored by something specific. And it was around age 6 that happened to me. And I had this weird idea that I didn't want to ask for help from my parents because I wanted to learn the trick and then go mystify them. So you can't ask them for help because then they'll know the secrets and then they won't be mystified. So I was in this big cycle of what do I do? Not knowing that there was a ton of resources in my mind back then, hidden resources. And it was a conundrum. First rule of magic, don't tell how it's done. And you walk up to somebody and you got to ask, how do you do that? And you break the first rule. And so I couldn't figure out that with magicians, it's okay to ask, but I didn't know if there was like a passcode or a secret handshake, or, how do I prove that I'm a magician and really want to learn and not just one of those people that I need to know how it's done sorts of people. So that took a bulk of my mind frame of getting into learning magic and publicly performing. I did a little bit of it. I guess the first big magic performance was a show written by Lauren Michaels, a magician from back in the 90s. And it was right in 99. He wrote a show called, oh gosh, I'm losing it. It'll come to me in a couple of hours. And he had audition. It was a show with magic, and Goth. That was the name of the show. Say, there we go.
Hmm.
It's about the evil inside of us, and it was way out there, but it had magic in it. And being a graduate of the academy, freshly out of the academy, of course, I auditioned. I got one of the main support roles with a understudy for his role, with the guarantee to be able to perform it. I think 3 nights out of the 2 weekends that it performed, and it was literally and truly magical. And I said, okay, yes, I can do this shortly after, got a job in a magic shop for a while. And it was fun, but it was a store. And it's not the same as performing live. I mean, for lay people, as you go out and perform, for lack of a
Absolutely.
better word, and to keep it simple, shows, stand up, walk around, whatever it is. And I didn't know where to go with it. At that point, I couldn't figure out my magical character. How am I going to sell this magic? Because my theatrical background needs a beginning, middle, and an end. And it took me all the way up until quarantine of 2020. So we're talking from late 90s to 2020 to really figure out my character and how I want to present my magic. And oddly, it was Jay Sankey's material that's out there on YouTube that clicked for me. And I said, this is what I'm going to do. And then I looked at others. Faye Presto was one, Laura London, a lot of other female magicians. And they'll come to my mind in a moment. And Alexandra, she's from France. I lose her last name all the time.
De Vouvier or
Yeah,
something like that, right? De
I think I
Vouvier
lost my connection,
the Viv, the
my audio
Vivian.
connection.
is De Vouvier. Are you there? Oh, she's
There we
frozen.
are. Now I'm back. Earbuds. Oh, wow. My earbuds got disconnected. I hope the quality of the audio came out okay. Anyhow, Alexander Duvier, yes. And started piecing together what I now have, and I'm always growing and learning,
Yes.
um, and developing. And I got to the point within myself during quarantine of I'm ready to perform for, we'll say, lay people, but the strangers out there in the world. And so I did a little bit through video, felt more confident. And then as the world was easing back out of quarantine, 2020, 2023, I was just looking for groups around the area here in San Diego to meet others, talk with others, learn more, get a more exposure. And I stumbled on the IBM Ring 76 here in San Diego, which is where I met Joe Mystic and Magic Mike Stillwell and a number of others, of course. And they've been so influential in my development in this last year and a half. And so now I'm out there. I'm doing it. I know it's a long
Absolutely.
story to get to this one point, but there was
Eh,
a lot of years to cover.
it's not, it wasn't a long story at all. I want to share with everybody out there your second to last performance on my Friday Night Wizard Emporium. So let's take a look at that and everybody enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for
Oh,
having me back here. This is just such an honor to be, I guess this is now I think it's my third time. So thank you, Dr. Michael. This is wonderful. It's always nice to see the same familiar faces again. So in the theme of October and a little spooky, we're going to see what comes up today. This is not a magic anything. This is to wipe my hands because it is high and humid here in sunny San Diego. And for those that handle cards, know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so we'll start off by shuffling the cards because that's always a good thing to do. And I would like, Tommy, are you there? I should have asked before, and I apologize. Are you there, Tommy? I'll give you a moment to
I
unmute.
am here.
Yay!
We
Would you
am
mind helping me
available.
briefly?
Of course.
Oh, thank you, Tommy. Okay, so I'm just going to take this shuffle deck and I'm going to put it into four kind of equal groups. From your angle, I guess this would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Name
Okay.
any one you want.
Uh, let's do 3.
3. Okay, so we'll get rid of
Yes.
the other ones just for now. And really, this is just an easy way to try to narrow down a selected card that I'm not pulling out. So we'll say
Okay.
we've got a group of 4 there, a group of 4 over here, and like 5 right there. So again, 1, 2, 3,
Let's do 2 this time.
2. Okay.
Hmm.
And since we have 5 here, we'll just keep it easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And how about 4?
4. Okay. Now
Yep.
this is going to be the card. You can change your mind if you want.
No, I'm good.
You're good. All right. So number 4, let
Mm-hmm.
me get rid of the rest because I'm doing my best not to see this card. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
I will show it to you this way and look away.
Yep. Yep. Got it.
Hopefully, is it on the camera? Yeah, I can see the
Yep.
edges on the camera. All right. And you have that memorized? Because if you
Yep.
don't, then
Yep.
this is pointless. Okay,
I got it.
fantastic. It's right there. We're going to lose it inside the deck, and we'll give the deck
Mm-hmm.
a couple of cuts. And of course, shuffle the deck again. Did I ever tell you? I think I may have mentioned this last show. My dad hated riffle shuffling, standard riffle shuffling, because he complained it bent the cards. He forced me to do the overhand shuffle, which any magician would know, but lay people know. Years
Mm-hmm.
later, when I discovered it, I showed him the Hindu shuffle, and he
Mm-hmm.
finally accepted that because it doesn't bend the cards. Okay, so let's take a look here. Let's see if I can show you this. I don't think your card is there. And let's look on the bottom over here. I don't think the card is there. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, I mentioned my dad because, well, he has since passed. So we're going to have him help us from beyond the grave. This
Mm-hmm.
was one of his pocket squares. He was
Nice.
a kind of, yeah, it is a nice texture. He
Yeah.
liked to
Yeah.
be very much in style. So let me move
Mm-hmm.
this here and we'll set this down here. Okay. Concentrate on the card. Everybody concentrate on the card. And hopefully we can have the spirit of my dad help us find your card. All right,
Okay.
Dad, here we go. Find Tommy's card. Oh, I forgot. I'm so sorry. You ha- it's Halloween. We have to burn a candle.
Oh yeah, of
This was
course.
actually my dad's candle. He had it on his mantle for years. Well, you can tell. Had it on the mantle for
Oh, that's
years.
funny. Yeah, yeah.
So let me get this lit here. There we go. All right. Okay. That'll bring his energy in. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Here we go. All right. Dad, help find Tommy's card. Oh, I forgot again. My dad was a smoker and he used to roll his own cigarettes. Let me bring this in a little closer to the camera. There's a whole different culture now that is more familiar with these for a whole different reason than
Mm-hmm.
rolling your own cigarettes. But we're
Mm-hmm.
familiar with cigarette paper. So let me
Yeah.
take a piece of cigarette paper.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to roll a cigarette, but I'm going to roll the paper. All right. And we'll light it.
Whoa.
Now, find Tommy's card. Find Tommy's card and turn it over.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Now, for dramatic purposes, name your card.
Two of hearts.
The Two of Hearts. I don't know if you can see that on the camera there. You can see that
Yeah.
one card is turned over from the rest of the deck.
Wow.
And you said the Two of Hearts,
Yes, ma'am.
and it is indeed
Wow.
the Two of Hearts.
Very cool.
Thank you, Tommy, for helping me. Thank you, Dad, for finding the
Thank
card.
you. Yeah, yeah.
Dr. Michael, thank you for having me. This is always lovely and fun.
Wonderful.
And wonderful. That's one of my all-time favorite routines. I'm partial to
Oh,
spooky magic anyway, right? But it's so well crafted. I want to get in your head a little bit and have you share how you kind of came up with that, or yeah, let's start there.
how I came up with that specific routine?
Yes.
Oh, well, it kind of pieced itself together. Uh, I already had the card part of the routine set for a whole different aspect of a card routine. Um, I had the candle from a whole other routine that I did because I'll be honest, that wasn't my father's. I made it. It's a prop. And it's just a beautiful prop, and I love using it and making reference to someone that died. And so I said, "Oh, this will be great to add an element of spookiness for the candle and the Halloween aspect of it." And then the pocket square, I I'll admit that wasn't my father's. It's something I've been on the hunt for a long time, and for those that know, will know what I mean. And I finally got one. Well, I should say I got one, didn't like the design, didn't like the build, and was continuing my hunt for one. And I found that one and I fell in love with it. I said, this pattern, this design, and more importantly, as I'm sure you know, the size of it was perfect. And so I said, I got to piece this together. Spooky Halloween. All right, candle, easy thing to do on camera, the part of the cards. And I need another element of spooky, the pocket square. And so I got these props together and said, okay, so how can I do this? What's the best way to convert it from live entertainment to, or excuse me, in-person entertainment to camera entertainment? And it literally kind of wrote itself at that point, figuring out how to choose a card, figuring out how I was going to handle it. I had a little problem with the camera angle of the cards, but you live and learn. And and so I just continued piecing it together, adding a little humor by adding in by not having the candle on to start with. I brought it in by the paper, the paper. I decided to bring that also in as a little more of a comedic element because unlike yourself, I like the spooky magic, but I'm not a spooky magician. I like to I like to have the magic help me achieve whatever the miracle, wonder, mystery is. And so therefore, yes, I'm magical, it's in my title, but in reality, magic saves me. And so with all these bits and pieces of how I want my persona and character to come across, it literally wrote itself at that point. But it was all pieced together from separate things.
Absolutely. I hear your trouble in trying to find the handkerchief. I decided I was going to do a similar effect a couple of years ago for our live get together at the SAM, our local SAM, and we were hosting it, which we do every year in January, early January. And if you know what it's called by two names, then oh, they're readily available. They're all over the internet, eBay, etc. And I ordered three or four of them, and I was so disappointed in the quality or the design. And we probably went through that same search. And then somebody gave me the name of this woman whose name escapes me right now. If you want to find out, just remind me and I'll get that to you, but she makes the finest ones. She works all in fabric. And Lynette, her name is
Yeah,
Lynette,
Lynette
L-Y.
Wal Lynette
Yes,
Walsh.
yes. Thank you, Tommy. And I ordered mine. And I love it. It looks like red. It's black, a black, very thin, velveteen kind of thing. And it's perfect. It's perfect for spooky magic. It's perfect for generic magic as well because it doesn't have a pattern. But I almost used a very similar one, but with a blue background that you have. I almost was going to do that because I kind of thought, well, these are my choices. There's half a dozen choices. I picked this one, which was very
Mm.
similar to yours. But in the end, I ordered Lynette's, and I'm very glad I did. It also can fold up. So what the secret something is hinged, and you can fold up the whole thing and stick it in your pocket if you want. So that's basically a plus. It's quite expensive as that effect goes. But in the end, I believe it's worth it. I'll be showing. Actually, I showed it on the Tuesday Night Magic Theater. Look it up on Facebook, or it may have been the Open Mic Magic show on Wednesdays. Look that up. But so that's why I got excited when I saw you do that. Charley, it's like, oh, I know that effect. Oh, she's presenting it differently. This is so cool. And I must say, your theatrical training really shows your personality, the way you use your hands. It's really, really, it's so cool. You're very much appreciated. I wrote down a couple of questions which came to me before we assembled here, and I don't know if it's relevant. It's about pre-show prep, which is hard to say. Pre-show prep. It is. And some of us have rituals before we start. Me, I sit down like if I'm doing like I used to in the old days, four shows in a row all across the city from here to there and whatnot. I need to sit and meditate and ground myself or center myself before, like, once I drive up to the thing, I'll sit and meditate. Cool. Then I go out, set up, do my show. Yikes. Incredible energy from kids and families. Pack up, put it back in the trunk or wherever, sit and meditate, and then drive on to the next location. Do you have any kind of ritual? Do you do anything just before a show in preparation of any kind, apart from setting up your props?
Apart from setting up props, I would if I've got some intense card manipulations or hand coordination, we'll say, I'll run through that a number of times, make sure that my finer muscle skills are warmed up. Uh, out and that'll include in my little. It's a form of meditation. It's usually a little bit of quiet. It's a little bit of me running through my show or my bit or my routine or whatever it is, just kind of focusing it in the third eye, um, and getting myself in that headspace of performance. Um, Back through theater training, you learn relaxation and full body relaxation, I should say, as well as using your mind to get into your character's headspace, where your character is coming from, where your character is now, where your character needs to go, what drives them, what's their wants, what's their needs, all basic acting 101 skills that beginning actors learn. And you build into your character. Well, my magical character is truly an extension of myself. So it's very easy to get into character. And since I've been performing for I'd have 2/3 of my life, I can say now. It's a little easy to get into the headspace. I just heighten my energy, heighten my reality, and put out the energy. At
Excellent.
the same time, knowing what I need to do to perform whatever it is that I'm going to perform. So it's a
Yes.
little bit of meditation and headspace right before I get into
And coincidentally, I was going to ask you about your character. Was it
it.
something you grew into? But you've answered the question. It's an extension of yourself. And
Yeah.
honestly, in my humble opinion, I believe that you'll agree with this. Um, really, that's the best way. It's like whoever you kind of are inside evolves or becomes your exterior, your on stage character, maybe a little bit exaggerated, maybe a little bit fancier in dress, I don't know, but certainly it's a wonderful journey though. And I think we're all pretty much happy with our characters or on screen or on stage persona, but I'm reminded that we are going to grow. We're going to evolve. So your character, my character, other people's characters, working pros will probably be a little bit different in 10 years than from what they are now. There'll still be snippets of course, the essence of the person because you can't change that, but it will evolve. Do you agree?
Oh, I fully agree. I fully agree. As we grow as people, we grow as individuals because we learn something new, we lose something, we gain something. We're hurt, we're loved. We go through this emotional gambit. It builds us who we are. Joan Decor is actually the person who, when I was talking to her after one of her shows here, when she was in town, about magical characters, and she's the one that confirmed what we just said. It's best to just go with an extension of yourself. And all she had to do was say that one sentence, and I knew exactly what she meant, because it's when you're trying to portray a character in a straight play, you're trying to make them yourself and make yourself as much like them. And so when you start, or when your end goal of character is so based in you, it's really easy to do. For me, a lot of it is the makeup and the costume, and standing in front of the mirror looking at my magical self, and I'm there. um
Perfect.
yeah, I fully agree, fully agree.
Perfect. Perfect. It's so exciting. And you know what? It seems like time has caught us up a wee bit. We can make this a series of shows, but I'm
Uh-huh.
going to at least ask you if you will come back to next season's show, probably in 2025. Hopefully, if you're agreeable to that, and we'll get even more into character development, perhaps, and mind frame, and maybe evolving a routine as well. Would you be into that?
Oh, I would absolutely love to return. I've had so much fun today. I'm hoping that the few people that said they were going to be able to come live are actually here. Thank you for being here. For those that said they would tune in the video posting, I hope you enjoy it. This is, yeah, I could talk for a while on character and development, and how I start a routine, because there are some things I look at and I'm like, no, that's just, for two reasons. It won't work for me because of my character, or let's face it, a lot of magic tricks are made for guys in guys' clothing, and I don't necessarily have a coat that I wear, or have pants pockets, or have a back pocket, or have a lapel pocket. So I've got to be creative in that. So I'm very selective in what I choose, and I would love to elaborate on things like that in the future.
Awesome. I'll certainly look forward to it, and I'm sure our audience will agree. We'll look forward to having you back sometime in 2025 on Magical People or Magical People Live, depending on where I'm going with this. And of course, we'll get you back with your permission to Friday night, my
Oh,
Friday night, first
yes.
Friday of every month. Probably not December, but maybe January if you're available. We'll chat about that because we want to share the magic. We want to share your magic, Charley. How can people get in touch with you?
Oh, the best way, yes. Well, sorry, I was about to answer the question. Yes, I would love to join back on Wizard Emporium. I have such a blast with that show. It's wonderful. How can people find me? The best thing is Linktree, which is linktr.ee/magical Miss MS Charley Charley. All my stuff is there.
Awesome. I broke down and got a link tree as well. It's just so simple.
Yay! It makes it so
Let's
simple.
It does. It's all there. It's so cool. Let's put our hands together once more for the magical Miss Charley, and we'll see you very soon, hopefully.
I hope
Yay.
so. I hope so. Thank you so much, Michael. This has been an absolute blast.
It has been. Thank you again. And I want to thank actually all our viewers out there. I'm very, very grateful. We do it for you. We don't do it for us. We do it for you. We like giving, we like sharing, we like just having fun. So we'll look forward to seeing you in a week again. Holy cow. And a week happens pretty quickly as well. So we'll see you all, same time, same place. But also a reminder that I appear, as do very talented magicians, on the Tuesday night Magic Theater on Facebook, and the following day on Wednesday, the Open Mic Magic show as well on Facebook. So hopefully we'll see you there. We'll see you on my Friday night, first Friday night of the month, Magical Emporium. And these shows till January, about the second week of January, we're going to go into. So thanks once again. Be well. We'll see you all really soon.